next 1 hour on JDN Radio 101.5 FM.
Places to go, books that teach you all you should know. We read, review, and guide your way. Learning and travel, side by side each day. Travel with ease, planet trial. Education and travel simplified. Travel with ease, day or night. Your trusted voice on radio. Yeah. With Tabio Don Samson on the mic. Every Wednesday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. On JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Every week peace, their education and travel simple. Travel with ease, stress-free journey. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease, knowledge means to story. See the world a smarter way.
Welcome back. The program is still Travel with Ease on your dial 101.5 FM, JDN Radio, and we are live also on TikTok as Travel with Ease. So I will be starting with the common mistake that people do make when it comes to them traveling and arriving early at the international airport. So if you think the conventional time, maybe your flight is for 10 a.m. and you got there by 9 a.m., you are kind of automatically late. Now you'll be asking that I'm here an hour earlier. Now let's see what the problem is. If you get there maybe an hour to your flight, what are the things you would have to pay for? Yes, and the consequences of arriving to the international airport an hour to your flight when you are supposed to be there earlier than that time is what we will be looking at right now. So many people, they think that the airport timing is flexible, so they assume. And the purpose of talking about it is that for you not to assume, for you to know that if you will be having an international trip, you should take it like a 4-unit course. If you understand what I'm saying, a very serious one. That this, if I get there late, it can actually cost me my trip. So many people assume. So if you have a flight for 10 a.m. and you get there, let's say 9 a.m., that works for local buses. Yes, it does not work for international flights. Why? Because international flight travels, they have their strict timeline. If you get there by that time, you would have missed your check-in, you would have missed your baggage drop, you would have missed your boarding pass, and you can also miss your flight. And do you know the funniest thing? There is no negotiation. There is no negotiation at all. Now, I was talking to someone and he said that that alone cost him like 300K. Like he got there, even got there like 3 hours to his flight, but then he still misses a lot of things that he has to pay extra for. So how do you understand the airport timeline? Yes, how do you understand it? Now, let me break it down for you clearly. In the airport, we have a situation whereby there is a check-in deadline. They have what we call the check-in deadline. These usually closes 60 minutes before departure, and some airlines, they closes 90 minutes before departure. So if you arrive there like say 60 minutes, that means they've already checked in. So they are just waiting for departure time in order to get the plane set for the flight and every other thing. So if you're getting in as at that time, you should know that you would have missed your checking in, your boarding pass and all of that. Then you might need to book for another flight ticket on that. And also you need to know that if you arrive after the 90 minutes before, you will not be checked in. You know, it's not all about sympathy. Like I said, that immigration do not operate emotionally, because if they do that, then there will be chaos in the airport. If there is no laws, there is no regulation guiding things there, then there will be a whole lot of chaos. And that is why it is good for you to know that there is always a check-in deadline. So let's say your flight is for 10 a.m. and you got there 9 a.m. That means you've already missed the check-in. So it's advisable that you get there earlier than the time. So the next one is your baggage cutoff. Your baggage cutoff. That is, whatever luggage that you have with you must be dropped early. Why? Because late arrival means no baggage accepted. If you want your baggage to be wrapped, you do all of that within the period that you go there early, and your baggage would have been checked in. So if you got there late, that means your baggage will not go with you. Even if you find an opportunity of getting into the plane, that means your baggage will not go with you. And you should know that the boarding time is also there. Yeah, boarding starts 45 to 60 minutes before flight. Boarding, it starts 45 minutes to 60 minutes before your flight, and the gate closes 15 to 20 minutes before departure. So once closed, the flight is gone. You cannot start begging that something happened, start giving them stories, because initially when you have your ticket, you know the time of your departure, and they know that you should have been there earlier than time for them to know that you're actually serious about your destination in mind. So the next one I will be looking at right now is that if you miss your check-in deadline and you miss your baggage cutoff and you miss your boarding time, what do you think it's gonna happen? Let's take a moment. When I come back, we shall continue from where I stop. Understanding the airport timeline is just what we discussed right now. It's still Travel with Ease on JDN Radio 101.5 FM, the only radio station that is broadcasting for all.
With ease. Learn as you travel, travel with peace. Oh, travel with peace. Stress-free journey. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Knowledge meets discovery. See the world the smarter way. From visas and flights to places to go. See books that teach you all you should know. We read, review, and guide your way. Learning and travel side by side each day. Oh, travel with ease. Learn it right. Education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Day or night. Your trusted voice on radio. Biodan Samson on the mic. Every Wednesday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Travel with ease. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Stress-free journeys. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease.
Welcome back. It's still Travel with Ease, and we are still looking at understanding the airport timelines. Yes, if you get late to the international airport and if you 1 hour to your flight is actually the perfect time, it's not a perfect timing. You have to be there more than that. So what are the real consequences if you do not meet up with the airport timeline? The timeline of the check-in deadline, the baggage cutoff, and the boarding time. Now, when you arrive late to there, the consequences is that you might miss your flight, and no refund in most cases. They won't refund you because it's already stated in what you signed and what you filled. So there is no refund. You miss your flight and there is no refund. So why would you be careless when you know that you won't get a refund for that? And also, when you want to rebook, rebooking will cost you more than the actual flight. Yes, rebooking cost. Yes, you pay for a new ticket and you pay for it in a higher fare. Yes, because you need to get to that destination and you are late. So you might actually pay twice of what you paid before. And also, it's if it is not a connecting flight, if the flight you booked before is not a connecting flight, you may lose the entire journey. You may lose the entire journey. So those are the consequences. And also, all of these consequences does not come without emotional stress. Yes, you will be stressed, there'll be panic, there'll be confusion, and at times you feel embarrassed, especially when you've already, planned the whole money that you have around that ticket. Now, thinking of trying to raise money for a higher fare ticket to get you to your destination. So the most important thing is that for you to avoid all of this stress, to avoid all of these problem and issues, you just have to get to the international airport on time. So that will be leaving me to, talking to someone about these arriving at the international airport late. So let's take a moment, then we're going to be listening to what this person has to say.
Open your mind, see the world with ease. Learn as you travel, travel with peace. Oh, travel with peace. Stress-free journey. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Knowledge makes you discovery. See the world the smarter way. From visas and flights to places to go. Books that teach you all you should know. We read, review, and guide your way. Learning and travel side by side each day. Oh, travel with ease. Learn it right. Education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Day or night. Your trusted voice on radio. Biodan Samson on the mic. Every Wednesday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. on JDN Radio 101.5 FM.
My name is Abdulatif Olayinka Garba. Good afternoon, and thanks for having me again. So, running late to the airport is something that can eat deep into a lot of money. And then you can lose money. You can also lose appointment if care is not taken. So ideally, it's advisable that you should be at the airport at least 3 hours before your boarding time. This is the ideal time that you should be at the airport. So because most of or majority of the airline closes their check-in, 60 to 90 minutes before boarding. 60 to 90 minutes, they must have boarded. You must have your boarding pass at that moment. And also, at least even boarding of bags, your baggage, your baggage drop should be earlier than this period. I mean, you should be at the airport already. You should have checked in your bag, weigh it in, and then if you are going to be doing wrapping, you should have done with wrapping all this time while you are just waiting for your flight. So ideally, it's advisable that you should be at the airport 3 hours before the timing. So this is the best time for you. Otherwise, you might be losing your money, or some airline may ask you to immediately book for the next available flight. This might be in weeks, if it's an international flight for the same airline that you missed their ticket. So they may likely ask you to book for the next available. Next available doesn't mean that immediate flight, because the next flight might be filled up already. So that's not available for you. So it might be a week later, it might be 2 weeks later. So this is what it can cost you. So imagine you having a meeting the next day you are boarding. The next day you're supposed to board, you already automatically miss that meeting. So it's best for you to be at the airport on time. Be on time at the airport 3 hours before boarding. Best time for you. Thank you. My name is Abdullah.
Our education and travel simple. Travel with ease, stress-free journey. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease, knowledge needs to store it. See the world a smarter way.
Yes, you've heard that from our travel expert. He said you should be there 3 hours before you travel. You should have been at the airport. So you will be able to check in your bags with them. If it's wrapping and all of that, you need to do all of that before you think of traveling. Now, why do people arrive late? That's one question. You start asking yourself, why do they arrive late? You start thinking maybe because of the excitement, or because they do not want to, leave their family, or, at that moment that the whole thing is getting closer, they started feeling this, missing thing, coming, as in it's now on them that, yes, I'm leaving this country for good, and they tend to stay and stay and stay. All right, so some of the few reasons I have here is that some people, they underestimating traffic. Yes, we feel that it's still the same road I passed yesterday and there was no traffic. Anything can happen. So it's always good one plans before time. Even you being there 3 hours before you depart means that you have to have left home earlier than that. So in case of anything that might happen, in case of traffic, so it's important that you don't underestimate traffic. And late parking, some people prefer that they park at the last minute. There are some things they don't want to park in now. Late parking is one of the major issues that let people arrive late at the international airport. And when there are poor planning, yes, poor planning, it is always good that you plan on time, so you arrive early at the international airport. Traveling is not just you traveling. It's like you planning something so you don't miss your flight. You plan it so that everything is intact. So it's as if you are doing a project. If you are traveling from the beginning to the end, you have to just take everything seriously. And also overconfidence, yes, that by the time we speed up, I know some shortcut that we can pass. What if something happens to the shortcuts that you think you have? Then wrong advice from people that, no, when I travel, people will start giving you advice from left side and center, especially if you are going for the first time. They will tell you where you should stay, the time you should go, where, they will start giving you different advices and all of that. So at times wrong advice might be there. So the main truth is just that airport timing is not flexible. You need to know that airport planning is not flexible at all. Yes, they will not bring down whatever rules they have just because you are late. So let's look at the smart travel strategy that you can use in order to arrive early at the airport. What are the smart travel strategy that we have for you on the program Travel With Ease that would help you, that if you have known this, then you will know that this is the way I will be planning my things. Let's take a moment. When I come back, we'll be discussing the smart travel strategy that we have for you this afternoon on Travel with Ease on JDN Radio 101.5 FM.
See the world the smarter way. From visas and flights to places to go. Books that teach you all you should know. We read, review, and guide your way. Learning and travel side by side each day. Travel with ease, learn it right. Education and travel simplified. Travel with ease, day or night. Your trusted voice on radio. Yeah. With Tabio Don Samson on the mic. Every Wednesday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. On JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Every week peace. Their education and travel simple. Travel with ease, stress-free journey. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease, knowledge needs to stop it. See the world a smarter way.
Alright, welcome back. It's still Travel with Ease on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. And you've gotten a tip from our expert. So this, I will be giving you some strategy. Yes, some smart strategy that would help you. And we've talked about why people arrive late. Yes, the smart travel strategy. Travel expert has given you one that's for international flights. You should be there 3 hours before departure. And for peak travel periods, you should be there 4 hours before. If it's peak travel period, you should be there 4 hours before. And make sure that you plan for delays. Yes, it's always good that you plan for delays. You plan for traffic. You plan for check-in, the queues at the check-ins. You plan for security checks. You had all of that in your timing. And you plan for the online check-in. And all of these will help you to save time. It will help you to reduce stress. And make sure you pack early. It's important that you pack your things early. Then make sure you avoid the last minute rushing. People will tell you this, but when they tell you, you don't get to see it as a serious advice. But then it is a very serious advice. And make sure that you stay updated on your boarding time and the gate changes. Anything can happen. I was talking to someone that was supposed to take his connecting flight from Turkey, and getting there, he has to check, and they were announcing something that the flight has, the time has been changed. You understand? And due to the time that I got some things ahead, he was able to check the board and see when the next flight will be going. So at times, if you feel that this is the time and you were just staying and waiting for that time, no, you have to be very, very sensitive even when you are there. So it is important that your time might change. Get into the airport early and checking in and doing all of that, and then something unforeseen circumstances came up and it's something that cannot be avoided and the time changes, that is not your fault as at that time. But if you're not there early, you won't be able to get every other information concerning how your flights will move and what is going to happen next. So it's important. So for the gate changes and all, so asking people questions that what is the closest they have ever come to missing a flight. People will tell you that I got there late and they didn't even listen to me. They won't listen to you because some people might have gotten their flight ticket maybe 3 weeks before going, or a week too, and they believe that you've read all the information. So it's not something that you are just getting now. It's not something that you're just getting it so in a hurry. So they believe you've read everything. So it's normal that they don't listen to you. And some people, traffic almost made them miss their flight. And some people, they like to go early because in their normal routine they go early. So one of the best advice I would give you, that if you are not someone that is always used to getting somewhere on time, when it comes to you traveling, when it comes to international travel, the smartest strategy I would want you to adopt is to get there earlier. Get there earlier than time. It's going to help you a whole lot, and it's going to save you stress, and it's going to save you a whole lot of cash. So those are the travel smart strategy that we have for you on Travel with Ease this afternoon. And what are the other way in which you can break down the timing so you would know that you're right on time? Now, you should know that you don't need to calculate your airport time based on the departure time. Do not do that. Don't calculate your airport time based on your departure time. You need to calculate it based on your check-in and the closing time. That is how you should do that. You know, most airport, they close 60 minutes to 90 minutes from Travel Expert, and I also said that at the start of the program. So you always calculate based on your check-in and the closing time. That is the real deadline. That is the real deadline. And even getting there 15 minutes to 20 minutes, you know that you've already missed the flight, because 15 to 20 minutes the gate closes and the flight is ready to fly. So what are the checklists you need to do as a person that is traveling? Let's take a moment. When I come back, we'll take one or two messages, and to be part of the conversation, you want to tell us your experience about your travel journey, or you have one or two things to say, you can pull a code through on 07048 001015 and 08022102163, 08022102163, or 07048 001015. So you can let us know your experience. How close were you missing your flight because you got there late to the international airport and you're almost losing your flight? And you can also send WhatsApp message to 09132069135, 09132069135. It's still Travel with Ease on your dial 101.5 FM, JDN Radio, the only radio station that is broadcasting for all.
Books that teach you all you should know. We read, review, and guide your way. Learning and travel side by side each day. Oh, travel with ease. Learn it right. Education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Day or night. Your trusted voice on radio. Get it right. Your trusted voice on radio. Mr. Biodan Samson on the mic. Every Wednesday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Travel with ease. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Stress-free journeys. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Knowledge meets prosperity. See the world a smarter way. Open your mind. See the world with ease. Learn as you travel. Travel with ease. Travel with ease.
Welcome back. It's still Trouble with Ease on your dial 101.5 FM, JDN Radio. And looking at all the rules I've mentioned about the airport, the rules that they have, the check-in, the bagging, and all of that, there are a lot of things you also need to know that I need to let you know. That check-in is the process where the airline confirms your presence. They verifies your documents and issues your boarding pass. You should know that is very important. That is one of the major thing that your tickets will let you do. And how does this work and why you need to get there early is that when you arrive, you present them your passports and tickets, and the airline checks your visas and your travel documents. After doing that, you will receive what we call a boarding pass, and your baggage is tagged. If you have any, they will tag it. And then the key rule is that it is always good that you check in close. You should check in early. It's very, very important. And no check-in after closure. If you plead with them, they will not listen because they know that you should know all of these. And online check-in is not enough. Yes, online check-in is not enough. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Olakunle. I'm calling from Secretariat, Ibadan here.
Okay, Mr. Olakunle, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I want to make a comment and a kind of a reaction, though positively.
Okay.
There is one thing about traveling and getting late.
Okay.
See, for a first timer, it is always like a tension. Even if you are given time to be there by 2 p.m., you won't know when you will get there by 9 a.m. Because you don't want to hear any story.
The excitement.
But for the regular travelers, they will think they have known it all. This is how they do it. This is the procedure. You don't need to stress yourself. That is why there is always a time the boarding gate is being closed. So the old regular travelers always suffer for something. Because of our experience, we punish them so that they can go back to the original procedure. So when you were really dishing out the information, I was just smiling because it's an experience I've passed through before. So thank you. Thank you for the program.
All right. Thank you so much.
This is my first time of listening to.
All right.
We are just passing time with the program.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Olakunle. Thank you so much. All right. All right, thank you for that, Mr. Olakunle. Is just add a contribution that most of the time the excitement would not allow the first-time traveler to do that. But then some people are excited, but they will still want to still behave with their normal behavior. But first-time traveler, I know that we want to be there earlier than time because no, I cannot afford to miss this. Like I said before, that most of the things that allow people to get to the airport late. One of the things I said is overconfidence. You've been traveling. Like this person that was telling me about, losing money and all of that. It's someone that is used to traveling and he just felt that these are the usual procedures and all of that. And he just felt, I'll get there. The timing and all of that. So this is for both old and new travel enthusiasts and those that need to travel for one or two reasons that if you get there might cost you a lot. And if it has not happened to you and you are always very close, very, very close, make sure that you don't get very close again. Make sure that you're always there right on time. So before the call came in, I was talking about check-ins and how that works. So when we talk about the baggage cut-off times, we are talking about the latest time the airline will accept your luggage. Yes, that's what I mean by the baggage cut-off times. The latest time the airline will accept your luggage. And all of these works in a way that you must drop your bag before the cutoff time. And your bags must go through security screening and loading. Yes, they must screen it and they must load it. So imagine you getting there 60 minutes after the all of that has been done. No one is going to listen to you because they need to check you and give you your boarding pass. Then also screen your bag and all of that. So they don't have the luxury of time. Yes. And that is why they won't listen to you until you miss that flight and book for another one. And you know that late bag will not be accepted. Yes, it will not be accepted. So what are the important details that you need for the baggage cutoff time? Baggage cutoff time is often earlier than the check-in closing time. Yes, the baggage cutoff time is often earlier than the check-in closing time. So if you arrive late, you may check in, but your bag will be rejected. Yes, your bag will be rejected. So if your bag is not accepted, you will have to travel without it, or you miss the flight completely. Because what's the point of you traveling and you cannot go with whatever that has to go with you to make the travel, pretty fine and all of that? There is no way. So the common mistakes is that when you arrive, at close of departure with heavy luggage, or you spend too much time repacking at the airport, this can even make you lose your flight. So when you arrive there early, you have enough time to repack, to pack, and all of that. So getting there early is the most important thing. So what do you do if you are late? What are you supposed to do? This is where many people panic. Yes, this is where many people panic. So the most important thing is that you should move fast and do not argue. Do not argue with the officials. Go straight to the airline counter. Ask if the check-in is still open, because time is critical. Time is critical for you as at that moment. And you make sure that you inform the airline staff immediately. Explain to them your situation clearly. If the gate is still open, they may assist. But that does not mean it is guaranteed. Yes, if it's still between a period, they can allow you in. But if you checked in, your bags might not go in with you. So it's either you wait for the next one, like our expert says. He said the next flight might not be immediately immediately you've booked. It might be a week, it might be some hours and all of that. And you know what you're going there to do, that it involves a lot of things and you have to be there as at that time. Now, if the check-in is closed, accept it quickly and move to solution. Don't argue. I paid, I have my right. Some people can argue for Africa, like they can actually argue, they go for debate and they are so good at that, and then you start hearing a whole lot of grammars you've not heard before in years. So the most important thing is that you should accept it quickly that you're late, you're at fault, and you move to solution. Either you rebook your flight, you pay for change fees, or you buy a new ticket. Those are the solutions available. The only time when you see this argument coming up is maybe to do all of these, maybe the person is short of cash, and that is when you see a whole lot of grammars coming in play when actions should be happening. So if you are someone that have a connecting flight, yes, if you have a connecting flight and you arrive there late, you need to contact the airline immediately. Some airlines may give you a reroute you. Yes, they might reroute you and you might get something out of it. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Your name and where you're calling from?
Ismail.
Hello?
Hello.
I'm with you.
My name is Ismail.
Okay. Good evening. I'm with you.
Good. We are good discussion.
Hello?
Hello.
I'm with you.
You are in a bar.
You said what? Hello?
Hello.
Hello, I'm with you. All right, maybe the network is not so clear, so I'm actually not getting what he's saying. So, I'm still looking at how you can get over it if you missed your flight or anything. So, another thing is that you should avoid emotional reaction. Yes, emotional reaction. People get emotional when they lose to things that they feel they could have stopped, they would have arrived there early. So shouting or hugging will not reopen the gate. You need to know that. When you shout at the attendant, you say a lot of things might not really help. So stay calm and focus on the next step. Yes, stay calm and focus on the next step. It's going to really, really help you out. It's going to help you out. So, what are the things we need to know? The airlines follow strict timing. They follow strict timing. They don't do what we call eye service. They follow strict timing. Your personal situation does not change their system. Yes, whatever happens does not change their system. And late arrivals, you should know that missed is equal to missed opportunity of you flying that particular airline. All right. So if you want to jackpot, this is coming from TikTok from Prince Foley. He said that he wants to jackpot. So let us know the particular place that you want to go. Yes, do not forget that we are live on TikTok as Travel With Ease. Oyaka, thank you for joining us. Ola Emirat, thank you for joining us this afternoon on Travel With Ease. So let us know how we can help you. If you have any questions, if you have any experience that you can type in right here, I'm going to be reading them out for you. Yes, I will be reading them out. If you have a contribution on arriving late at the airport, you can drop it, then I'll be reading them out. So the smart travel tips I've given us before, that extra time for traffics and also for delays is important. So your flight time is not your real deadline. If your flight is for 7 a.m., that is not the real time. That means you have to be at the international airport earlier than 7 a.m. If your flight is 12 p.m., you have to be there. Don't let us say we don't want you to sleep. You should be there at least by 8 a.m. waiting to park, doing one or two things, any other things that might come up and all of that. It's very, very important. And your check-in closing time is the actual time you need to follow. The time you check in is the time you should follow. So we are still looking. If you have any contribution and anything that you might want to ask about you getting to the international airport late and what you need to know. So the checklist you need to do if you are planning to travel and you felt that, okay, what are the things I need to do? What are the things? So a quick checklist that you need to have. Before leaving for the airport, your ticket should be ready, available with a small backpack that you keep them. Your passport should be ready and your bag should be packed. Your transport should have been arranged, not that, towards the time you are leaving, that is when you start arranging for the Uber that will carry you or whoever that will take you to the airport, because you need to add the time buffer. You need to add it because a lot of things might arise on the way. Mechanical things like cars and all of that cannot be trusted. They might be fine at this minute and not be fine at the next minute. So if you leave early, it will give you enough time to buy and all of that. And the most important thing is that if you are missing a flight, it's not bad luck. Yes, it is because of your poor timing. And it is not your village people. It's because of your poor timing. The time you are departing is not the real time. Know that every airport, they check in and close all of this 60 minutes before your departure. You should know that. So, do not be deceived by your departure time. So you're not calculating based on that. You should calculate based on the time you are being checked in. That's the most important thing. So you should not say that my village people are at it. So make sure you arrive early when you get to an international airport. Make sure you stay calm and make sure you travel smart, because once that gate is closed, your journey ends there, and I will not want your journey to end there. So your flight will not wait for you. That is the most important thing. It will not wait for you because you are not the only one going. They have a system, they have a schedule, they have a structure that they run at the international airport. It's no man's land that, okay, except maybe you have your own private jet that you can leave at any time you pleases. But if it's that you want to go through the normal airline and every other thing, you need to observe every rules and regulations. And the most important thing is that you should make sure that you plan ahead. you make sure that you move early. And with all of that, you can now travel with ease. And that will be calling it a wrap on the program this afternoon on Travel with Ease on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. And today we've talked about you getting to the international airport early so that you do not, incur unexpected expenses that you never planned for. And we say special thanks to everyone that has been part of the program. Our travel expert, Mr. Ola, is sending the Vox Pop and explaining to us how and why it is very serious, why you need to get to the international airport early. You might think it's not important, but if it has not happened to you, you will not see it as important. But we do not want it to happen, and that is why we are talking about it on the program this afternoon. So to everyone that has been part of the program, everyone that has been listening, picking one or two things, ideas about why they need to get to the airport on time, we say a very big thank you. And for everyone that has been listening to us from the start of today on JDN Radio 101.5 FM, we say a very big thank you to you as well. And to everyone that has made today's episode a reality. Yes, I come here, discuss and all of that, but there are people behind closed doors that have made this program a reality this afternoon. I will start by saying special thanks to the, those that made it possible for you to hear us out there, Big Ben, Fadipe and Kayode Olawi. To my studio manager, that is BOLADE OSHO. And to those that made it possible to see us on all our social media. And those will start with Deborah, Anu, Tudun, Samuel and Emmanuel. And also to those that have been saying, oh, this topic, it's going to be the one that people might want to listen to. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's do that. We'll start by saying thank you to Yeye BC, Duro Sharo, Joy Akinlolo, AISHAT, OYEDELE and Olabode Makinwa, and to our caller for this afternoon that has contributed greatly to the program this afternoon, Mr. Olakunle from Secretariat. He was giving us one or two contributions about why it's important you need to get to the airport. And to our travel expert that has always been there to give us, his expertise on topics that people do not actually take seriously or think it's important. We say a very big thank you to you. And to our listeners, every time, and the man that called in, I couldn't get your name because the network is a bit crappy. We say thank you to you. And to those that are planning to call in, we are saying thank you as well. I remain Abiodun Samson till I come your way next week, Wednesday, same time, same frequency, 101.5 FM, the only radio station that is broadcasting for us. Till then, make sure that you get the right information on time so you travel smarter, and so at the end of the day, you will be able to travel with ease. Do not forget, this is your travel companion on radio.
Travel with ease.